Hello and welcome to VideoNet's series of IBC 2017 video interviews. I'm Barry Flynn, contributing editor at VideoNet, and with me I have Anthony Smith-Chaigneau, who's Senior Director of Product Marketing at Nagra, one of the world's leading independent providers of content protection and multi-screen TV solutions. Anthony, the big story for you this year is the launch of a new cloud-based ecosystem for pay TV operators called OpenTV Signature Edition. As I understand it, this takes all the latest versions of what's in your OpenTV suite, the OpenTV OS, the OpenTV platform, the OpenTV player and the OpenTV experience, bundles them with the capabilities of the Nagra Insight data analytics platform, all wrapped up into a turnkey solution for pay TV operators. What benefits will that bring your clients?
Well, first of all, if I set the scene a little bit, so we have a vast experience in the pay TV industry for many, many years, and we've seen that the focus has been particularly on technology and the systems integration, in fact, of all these particular pieces. We see that that's now, the table is turning in a sense as we're much more focused towards the consumer. So what we're doing now, what we decided to do is yes, you know, when you see a beautiful car, you tend to get excited about it without necessarily, the general masses don't necessarily dig down into the nuts and bolts of the engine. So we've tried to create an editorialized version of a pay TV service using those core elements. So the OpenTV platform, which is the head end and service delivery piece. Of course, you need an engine in a box if you have a managed service. You want a TV everywhere service, so you want to add on the other devices that people want to use today. You've also got to use the protection, Nagra's security, of course. And then what we do with that is we've really looked at the user interface and how do we keep this fresh, exciting. With all the fragmentation that's going on today and people being drawn to other services, the pay TV industry has a place and needs to have, to up its game and really sort of put together something that is fresh, exciting, and gives the consumer the opportunity, in fact, to have all the content in one place. The frustration of going to have different connections to different devices and different apps and different paywalls is becoming problematic for the general consumer. So this is really bringing all together those elements. Now, we don't want to call it a turnkey solution because, in effect, albeit it is an end-to-end solution, you've got to take care of the velocity of technology today. And part of the problem is that you're seeing television is morphing, and the speed that things are developing today are really important. So you have to do the hard work first. So what we've done, we've created this package, we're calling it, it's a very elastic system. So if you want to have a particular analytics engine, you can have interfaces to swap in and out. So the benefit for the operator is they don't need to concern themselves with creating a new mousetrap. They've got to be concerned with how do they really keep up their net promoter score, how do they keep the churn down, how do they add more specifics in terms of revenue gain? And it's really about keeping the customer satisfied.
So one of the things about keeping the customer satisfied, which you mentioned, was the user interface.
Yes.
One of the features is you've got a brand new user interface called Ion, which you describe as a multi-journey UI. Can you explain what that concept is about?
Absolutely. I mean, the fascinating thing is over the years, as we've been in this industry for some time, is that we've seen UIs built in a specific navigation style. And we had, the favored EPG. It's been there since, I think, 1981. It seems to work, hasn't gone away totally, but it's considered a bit fuddy-duddy in some circles. We saw the move towards mosaics and apps and different navigation systems. Now we looked at this and we did some studies internally in our studio in California, in our user testing labs. And what we've done is we've realized that people, of course, are individuals, and people like different ways of navigating. So within the same household, you will have people using the TV from toddler to retiree in effect. And so why should you create why does this have to be static? Why should you not embellish this and make it better? So we believe that the UI that we produce today it's a center focus, but if you take this journey of content towards EPG because you prefer that, you can go down that route. Right. If you prefer a different route to go down the other modern day app navigation, you can do that. But at the same time, what we've done is actually on the EPG side, we've blended app content into the EPG. So it's linear. In a sense, it looks as though it's part of the EPG. So okay. For example, my mother could be using the EPG, she'd be clicking on a show that pops up she thinks she likes, but it might be coming from Netflix, or it might be coming from Pluto or Amazon. She has no clue. So she benefits from this new world there, at the same time feeling very comfortable in her journey of content. Whereas my young son, he'll come in, he knows where he wants to go down YouTube, and he will navigate a different way. And what we saw is in this UI, which is all packaged in a single bundle, is that you can take a journey and you will use that navigation, but your neighbor or somebody else who uses it takes a completely different route and feels as though it's personalized for them. And I think this is the first time where we've blended that together, and that makes it very easy for satisfying more people, in fact, who sit in front of the television to consume content.
Okay, and one of the things that kind of UI generates, of course, is lots of data about what your viewers are doing, and you're going to be using your Insight data analytics platform to power a new recommendation engine, which will be the engine under the hood of that user experience. Tell me a little bit more about that new engine you're.
Well, it's a little bit broader than that. So in fact, if you look at it, that today you're going to have, first of all, before you even take the UI out, you've done all the A/B testing. You've ensured that the actual navigation systems that you've put in place are working properly. So we fully user tested that and adapted that for a much smarter paradigm. Secondly, that because now this is an ecosystem, and the UI is being nourished by the head end and by OpenTV platform. Of course, then you've got access in the cloud to all manner of analytics. You can use social media, you can use third-party analytics engines. And what we've done is we've blended all these things together. So standard algorithms, you're following a particular genre, so the machine realizes that you like that kind of content, so they will feed you more of that. So that's to keep the traditional algorithm style. And what we've got is we've got an operator console. So the content management system of that device is fed by all manner of analytics. Insight is one particular program within Nagra, which is taking not only user analytics, because that's done from the machine and as we register what they do, but external analytics, business analytics, macroeconomics, and things that are happening in the marketplace. That allows then the operator to say, well, look, this is a particularly hot topic right now. I need to make sure I've brought content to the fore. It could be Pyongyang problems. It could be anything that allows that operator to say, I've got a much more elastic system that I can. It's more malleable, and that's a multiplicity of standard algorithms, different techniques, and business and usage analytics, all brought in. And we have an operator console with dashboarding, which allows the operator to do that. Push promotion of new content, different channels, archives, back catalog. There's another way now of looking at how do we make this, going back to the point of making it exciting and keeping the consumer engaged in your particular service.
Right, okay, very interesting. Finally, you also include a 4K ready set-top box from the sister Kudelski company, Smart DTV. You're positioning that as a fully managed device. So can you tell me what that means? Because you're going to be, that seems quite a novel thing to do, to kind of take that burden on yourself?
Well, I mean, I'm a bit of a, been in the industry quite some time. The death of the set-top box, we've heard it over and over and over again, but there has to be somewhere a terminating device. So the reason we call it it's a managed service in a sense is what you want to be doing, and if you're offering SVOD applications, when they're implemented into the set-top box, they are managed. They have a life cycle, application life cycle management, they have quality of services assured, and then you're feeding probably to a much larger screen. So you're going to be feeding a 4K TV, for example, which of course, is generally the main screen in the home. So that, we still believe there's a position for a managed service. You will always be guaranteed that that app works. Now we know there's problems in the market of certain televisions that after a certain time the app doesn't work anymore, for example, because that's an unmanaged product.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, what we've done is extended that in a TV everywhere mode. So you have this sort of centrally managed platform, this termination device for that particular. But then at the same time, you can put that within that ecosystem. You can add in, you'll bring your own devices. So, for example, here at the show we have a Fire TV running exactly the same OpenTV Signature Edition. It's just that termination device is on a Fire TV. So the flexibility of the system is managed for the big screen experience in the home, and then your unmanaged devices are brought in, and that allows the flexibility for people who like to use gaming machines, tablets, apps on their phones in that kind of manner.
Okay, great. Okay, that's really interesting and a very innovative approach, I think. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. So thanks very much for taking part in this VideoNet interview series at IBC 2017. And thanks to you, the audience, for having watched us. From me and Anthony, it's goodbye.
Goodbye, thank you.